Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Guess we're finally getting winter. Not a good thing. Jim, I'm telling you. Yeah, you know, it's hard to believe that we missed Nancy. In the morning, I guess, the snow didn't anybody's way. Made the mistake last night of driving to Cleveland to go to that auto show to look at the cars. And coming back, you know, it was like touch and go. Just slippery. All right, well, I'd like to open the meeting with public comments. If anyone has anything to say, we ask them to come to the podium, give us your name and address, and address the board, and you got 3 minutes. Anyone? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the previous minutes of the board meeting number 7, Thursday, February 20th, 2020. Approval of bills for payment. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedio Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Legal notices. Owen P. Grant, Santa.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny. The first legal notice is for an amendment to the CDBG program from fiscal year 2018 to readjust the budget to provide for additional dollars for the Beloit restroom. And the second public hearing is public hearing number 1, which is the beginning of the CDBG application for FY 2020.
Do we know the dollar amount, Anna, coming into the year yet?
Not yet, the state hasn't released it yet, but I will let you know as soon as possible.
You know, from $1 million to $500,000 to $350,000, see what the state cuts it to this time.
I know, remember they told us it was gonna be more because they were going to the biannual?
Right,
That
and they
was
got it down
another
to
one.
350, and they felt guilty cutting it again, so they said, well, we're only gonna pass out every other year.
Yeah.
We'll keep the 350, but it'll be, you know, odd years, even. All right, thank you. Motion for legal notices.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedio Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Journal entries.
Motion to approve journal entry number 1.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedio Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Travels, probate court. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm sorry, this is my first time doing this, so.
No problem.
I do apologize. You're looking for the travel expenditure?
Yeah.
Okay, the probate court is looking for a blanket travel expenditure for the judge and the court staff for educational purposes, for training on the state level and as well as the national level.
Fantastic. And I'm sorry, I don't know your first name.
My name's Shannon.
Shannon. Okay,
Last name
Shannon,
is
welcome.
Evans. Thank you.
We're easy here. We're easy to get along with, and we don't throw things at anyone.
I appreciate that.
Oh, good, thank you, Shannon. Veteran services. Wow, whole list of veterans.
Good morning.
Hello, Thomas and Steve. How are you?
It's my driver today.
I'm telling you, that's good. It's, he's a good driver.
Right. Good morning, Commissioners.
He's gotta be safer than the rest of us, that's for sure.
Yeah, he hasn't harmed me yet. But good morning, Jenny. This is from B to H. This is for the commissioners traveling outside of the state of Ohio and the different expenditures on there for those. It's already accredited in our budget and everything.
Gotcha. All righty, thank you. You're welcome. How's the job going?
I love it.
They taking good care of you over there?
Very good.
You don't want to go back?
No,
Oh, good, thank you. Okay, motion to approve travels.
Motion to approve travels A through H.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedio Agati? Commissioner Trafficante,
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes. Agreements. Commissioners purchasing OMB. Okay, all of you stand up. Jimmy, you gonna handle that?
Sure. This is a settlement agreement with Wasowski, Jaminet for going back for payment applications. This really occurred when the principal unfortunately deceased there, and they did an internal audit of where they were at. So we're doing a settlement to pay for those services as well as complete their contract. They have 3 more projects and then their contract's over. For any future ones, we'll be going out for a procedure again to select a new architect for the building.
Good, Jim. Thanks for your work on that. I know it took a long time to go through that, and you guys did a great job. Yeah.
And prosecutor, not
Right. Facilities. Gonna handle that?
Yes. This is for replacement of 2 pumps for, it's really a type of septic type system we have that's so antiquated in our facility building. It's to assure that it doesn't fail again.
Very good. JJC. I know I saw Jen.
Good morning. Oh, the first is an agreement with BIS, Business Information Systems. It's for the maintenance on the recording equipment in the 5 courtrooms at the juvenile court, and it is non-general. And the second is an agreement with Wunderlich. They're sole source. They provide pre-employment testing for our staff.
All right, Jim, thank you. Jay, Jobs and Family.
Good morning, everyone. This is an agreement with ADM Parking Services for DHS and CSEA divisions. Estimated cost $13.74. This is non-general.
Okay, great, thank you. And probate. You're up again.
Yes, I am. This is for the BIS recording software, it's a renewal of our contract for our 3 courtroom multi-utilize.
Excellent, thank you. Recycling.
Morning, Commissioners. Item G is an agreement with Springfield Township to abate about 2 tractor trailers worth of tires they have there on township property, not to exceed $4,000. And item H is our annual lease agreement with Springfield Township as well. It'll be the first of many to come through.
All right, thanks, Lou.
Thank you.
Agreements.
Motion to approve agreements A through H.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedio Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Change orders, purchasing.
This is a change order per their adjustment factor in their contract. Postal Service has increased the way bulk mail is being weighed. So this is to allow, because of that postal requirement adjustment.
Change orders.
Motion to approve change orders 4A.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedio Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Road closings. Patrick.
Morning, everybody. Letters A, B, and C are both, or all 3 for culvert replacements. Letter A, we're closing Newton Falls Road between Gladstone and County Line between March 2nd and 4th. B, we're closing North Duck Creek between Gladstone and County Line between March 5th and 6th. And C, we're closing West Cala between Washingtonville and Lisbon between March 2nd and the 13th. Again, these are all for culvert replacements. This is the beginning of the paving program. This program that we're doing right now is from the monies that the commissioners gave us. We were able to take that. We were able to fully fund one of our federal projects, or local match went into this, plus gas tax. We're adding an additional 27 miles of paving this year as a result of that. So I'm certainly appreciative of what you guys have done for us, and this is just the beginning. So every week moving forward, you're probably going to see road closures in various townships throughout the county. So with this, on top of our OPWC program, we're going to exceed 40 miles of paving this year.
Pat, I know that PWC creates more stringent requirements with respect to how roads get paved and funded to get paved. You know, and what you said, so you're doing 27 miles from the monies that we collectively put together, and the 13 difference is OPWC. How is the changes that you're able to do with the 27 miles different than the OPWC from a roadway standpoint?
OPWC has scoring criteria. It doesn't make paving of the roads more difficult. It makes getting roads that are less traveled more difficult to get funded. So it's a funding mechanism, but because of ADT and useful life, those are two of the main criteria with Ohio Public Works. Whereas with this money, I always say there's no strings attached because we can take away all the scoring criteria and analyze our roads from worst first. So we're taking that approach. We're doing the worst roads first with the additional paving this year. And it's going to enable us to get a lot of those roads that we struggle every year to get funded through Ohio Public Works.
And a lot of those roads are ones that we don't pave because they're very infrequently traveled, there's low car traffic on them. So subsequently, they go 20, 30 years without getting paved.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we can't focus on the worst roads all the time because of the criteria, but when you're restricted with funds, OPWC is more written for urban areas, and we suffer a lot in the rural parts. So since getting in office, we've made it our goal to try to get those worst roads taken care of, and we've done a pretty good job, but there's still a lot more that needs done. So this is by no means getting everything in the county completed,
Right.
but it's a good start.
Pat, is that involve Duck Creek Road? Any
Yes.
part of Duck Creek Road?
Yep.
Good,
Yeah, we're doing a large section of Duck Creek this year.
good.
Pat, is there any federal money coming in from the federal highway bill?
Yes, for paving, next year, we're paving Mahoning Avenue from Meridian Road to Meander Reservoir. That's 100% federal with 80-20 split. So we have a 20% local match on that. We have two phases of South Avenue that'll be coming in 22 and 23, I believe. One from Matthews Road to Presidential, the other from Presidential to Western Reserve. Again, 80-20 federal monies. We've got, this year's going to be a tremendous year for construction. With Meridian Road Corridor, which has some federal monies in that. Western Reserve Road is next year from Market Street to Hitchcock, federally funded. We have the new road, Raccoon Road Safety Upgrade, which is federal. Those are safety funds. We have the South Avenue widening from Matthews to Lake Park. So we have a tremendous amount of federal dollars going to work for us in the next 5 years.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, thank you. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve road closings, letters A through C.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Resolutions.
Motion to approve resolutions, number one addition.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Record of bids. Lynn.
This is a record of bids received for our training, lead certification training through Ohio Department of Health.
OMB grants.
Commissioners, this was a rebid of the fiscal year 2018 Beloit Village Park restroom.
And that came in higher than the original estimate, is that why we?
Well, the original bid came in like at $140,000 and the engineer's estimate was $103,000. So we had to rebid it and we were able to get a one bidder that submitted a bid for $106,000, which will be coming to award after that budget amendment hearing. So they came in within the 10% of overage to the bid. So we're very excited.
Nice, thank you. Okay, record of bids.
Motion to approve record of bids, letters A and B.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Resolution of awards. Engineers.
Commissioners, this is the award of the Bandy Road Trail Star Project improvements to Lindy Paving, the amount of $133,546.20. This is non-general and low bid. This is the project down in Smith Township where we're raising Bandy Road to get it out of the floodplain.
Thanks, Pat. Facilities. Purchasing.
This is a recommendation to enter into agreement per Roscoe Incorporated Mechanical Engineers. We have a competitive bid situation and the lowest, most responsive to the specifications is being recommended. This has taken us from 7 current boilers to 2 high-efficiency ones.
Resolution of awards.
Motion to approve
Thank you.
resolution of awards, letters A and B.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Resolutions, convention and visitors. Linda.
Good morning.
Turn that around yourself.
Letter A is a sponsorship support grant to the Butler Institute of American Art. They're going to have one of their many special exhibits this year featuring the artwork of Jim Steranko, who is at the very top of the field of comic book artists. So it's something new, the Marvel universe of superheroes. He's collaborated with George Lucas on George Lucas and Steven Spielberg on characters like Indiana Jones, Star Wars characters. So the buzz about this exhibit has already started. The Butler's getting inquiries from all over the country, even from Spain. Somebody wants the exact date so they can come and visit. So we want to support this exhibit. And coincidentally, it will also be held.
The culvert replacements.
I wonder if we can shut it off.
Hazmat.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good. Resolution for approving of the repairs of Hazmat 1 and Hazmat 2 to the tune of over $20,000 in repair work. Moral obligation. There was just a little breakdown in communication when it got to the approval process, and like you said, it won't happen again, but that's what we're asking for.
Thank you. Web page.
E is a change order in excess of 10% of the original bid. It was for unforeseen removal of the slate that was beneath the asphalt shingles and some sheeting replacement. And F is a daunting amount, but it is, in our CHIP grant program, we need to bring those properties up to Ohio residential rehab standards, and we ran into a situation where there was the rigid asbestos siding on the house, so we had to side over it. It was broken and chipping and falling off, so we had to replace that, as well as a considerable run of exterior painted concrete sidewalk that had to be remediated as well. It's a mess.
OMB grants.
Commissioners, this is to appoint me to the Mahoning County Continuum of Care, Homeless Continuum of Care Executive Board for 3 years. This is a renewal for my last 3 years. And also, the commissioners have an appointment to the board due to your new position as collaborative applicant for the Homeless Continuum of Care.
Thank you. Resolutions.
Motion to approve resolutions A through G.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Alrighty. Go to the order. Do you have any order? Do you have any good? Nick, anything you want to tell us about the chamber?
I have no updates at this point, Commissioner.
Jeez, we got you front and center on the spot.
I love it though, so thank you. No,
It was a
none of the
nice
this time.
drive down to Columbus.
Yeah, thanks for your
It
participation.
was nice. You know what? I wanted to ride. Well, I didn't want to drive myself this time, and I went on the bus, and I found out that you never want to go to the bathroom on the bus. You know, when you think that the restroom is small in an airplane,
Only day.
try standing up in an airplane when you're driving down the road 70 miles an hour, hitting every bump there is. And I realized that there's handrails in the restroom for a reason, you know, and it was.
Just thank God you weren't on a county road.
Hey. Well, just to,
We'll let you.
All Struthers.
just to let you know, there's equally amount of bumps on 680 and
Oh, yeah.
11 and everywhere else too. So we're not on an island here. Trust me.
That was a good trip.
It
We
was nice.
appreciated
It
you guys
was a
coming
good
down.
event. You guys do a nice job setting it up. Thank you. You know, and last Friday, Good Morning Mahoning County was very nice. Gave us an opportunity to talk positively about a lot of good things that are happening and what we're doing in the county. And it was one of the best attended too. you just gotta love the B&O station. It's
Yeah.
just, it's really a showpiece. It's unfortunate that, you know, that it isn't utilized more, you know, and they do have a little restaurant, bar, nightclub kind of setting right next to it, and then the banquet hall under new management, and they're doing a nice job there, so that was nice. Thank you, appreciate
you.
all your hard work.
You too, thank you.
Anything else?
Well, you kind
Carol.
of summed it up. The trip was nice. We got to see a lot of people. Michelle Hagan brought us around all over the place. And we ran, and it was really good for our project at YDC. So we got a lot of good airtime with everyone, thanks to all of us being a part of that, and the chamber as well as the court, so we thank them. Just, now we have winter. So get your boots back on, put your shorts away and start up again. Have a nice weekend, enjoy, and see you next week.
I want to commend Dave. He did a great job speaking at your event for the chamber, at the B&O, summing up the county.
Good.
And just to tell you, Nick, how informative those are. You know, I'll probably start attending more of those. I learned a lot. You have some great things happening in the valley. And we had a Port Authority meeting on Friday last week, and a lot of information there. Tim Ryan was our speaker. So there's a lot of things happening in our community, and if you don't go, you really don't know what's going on, but there is a lot. So I wanted to commend the Port Authority, Sam Cavelli, for the information. They had a meeting with the mayors. So everything going on in the valley is really generating. And you heard what Pat Giannetti said. All these projects that are coming here, and that's how we survive. Without that, things don't look too good. So
A lot of momentum. We just, as a community, need to capitalize on it. We'll get there though.
correct.
Great work. We're good partners.
You know, and I just would add that, you know, it's, you know, when you talk about potholes and things like that, you know, I mean, it's easy to make jokes, but the fact is that 40 miles being done this year. I think in the last 6 or 8 years, more road miles have been paved in Mahoning County than in any other time, in any other period. You know, and I know Pat says to me on a regular basis, you think if I had the funding, I wouldn't pave every road twice? You know, and you know, and that's the truth. And I know we did a huge study, and to bring all the roads in Mahoning County up to standard, just the county roads, $70 million to bring them up to standards. You know, doing 40 miles this year. The real problem is all the cuts that we get from the state of Ohio for a county's budget. You know, we were able to take and give Pat $3.25 million over the last 2 years to do these matching funds for the roads that wouldn't get done on a normal basis. And unfortunately, last year, the state of Ohio cut $6.3 million from our budget just off of the MCO funds. And collectively, over the years, you know, we're down 12 to 18 million annually. So think if we had that 6 million back from last year's cuts, or 12 million back from the last 8 years' cuts. You know, how much money we could put into the engineer's office for Pat to do as matching funds, to be more creative on how we do things and what we do. So it's a battle every year. And from that standpoint, we talked about YDC at the Good Morning Mahoning County, because how the people with disabilities are being unfairly treated, and the closing of those institutions that helped so many people that were disabled. You know, so we're trying to start that back up again to make sure that there's services to provide for so many people that have been displaced. And then we go to the Area on Aging meeting the other morning we're at, and they stand up and announce the new federal budget that's just been put out is cutting all the low-income heat programs for people that can't afford to keep their heat on in the winter, the wellness programs for the elderly, the chronic disease self-management programs for the elderly, the Area on Aging. All of these programs are being cut out of the federal budget that come back and help so many people. And these aren't people that are on welfare and stuff. These are people that are on pensions. These are retired people. These are veterans. These are people that lose all these programs that subsidize their heating bill. You know, and I've been a big complainer of the electric bills in the state. You know, I think our electric bills are one of the highest in the nation. And I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I see that on a regular basis. So many people that can't afford their electric bill. And gas has gotten to a point where it's very affordable. But, you know, all these programs being reduced and cut, And who pays the brunt of it are people that, like Anthony tends to say, that have, you know, lower median income in communities like our valley, you know, and it's unfortunate that so many people get left behind. All right, we have a lot of meetings today, and I'm on my soapbox, and I understand. So I hear you. Thank you all for being here, appreciate it. With that said, motion carried.
Commissioner Daniel,